So, have you ever wondered what it actually takes to go from someone who just loves to write to a professional who, gets paid for it? It's not just about raw talent, not at all. It's really a mix of craft, mindset, and having a solid strategy. Let's break down exactly how you can make that leap. And that's really the core question, isn't it? The difference isn't just about getting a paycheck. It's a complete shift in how you look at your writing, the business behind it, and honestly, even how you see yourself. We're about to map out that entire journey for you step by step. So, where does this whole professional journey actually kick off? Well, it starts way before you type chapter 1 on that big novel you've been dreaming about. The very first steps are all about building a really solid foundation. I just love this analogy because it hits on such a common mistake. I get it. We all have that big, ambitious project we're dying to jump into. But think about it. A surgeon doesn't walk into the operating room on day 1 and start with brain surgery. No way. A writer needs to master the fundamentals on a smaller scale first. It's like becoming an apprentice in your own craft. The path to the big leagues starts small. Seriously. You start by writing shorter pieces. Things like articles, essays, short stories. Now, why do this? Because this is your training ground. It's where you learn 2 absolutely vital skills. 1, how to work with an editor, and 2, how to actually get paid for your words. Okay, so now you're in the game, you're getting feedback, you're cashing some checks, but now a whole new challenge pops up. See, professional writing isn't just about skill, it is about resilience. You've got to forge your professional armor. This question right here is a major filter. Your ability to take feedback, both the good and the bad, is pretty much going to determine how far you go in this business. It's not a question of if you'll get criticism, it's what you do with it when you get it. So here's the pros code for handling feedback. First off, you have to develop a thick skin. You're never going to be everyone's cup of tea, and that's okay. But don't just dismiss the criticism. If you start hearing the same note from a few different people, that's a signal. Pay attention. And remember, you're writing for your readers. So when a seasoned pro, like an editor, gives you advice, your job isn't to argue. Your job is to listen and fix the problem. This is a journey that every single one of us goes through in any skill. We all start at stage 1, thinking our stuff is pretty good, mostly because we just don't know what we don't know yet. Stage 2 is humbling. That's when it hits you just how much there is to learn. But as you keep working, you get to conscious competence, and eventually, those skills become second nature. Every pro has walked this exact path. Okay, we've talked mindset. Now let's get into tactics. How do you actually get the words on the page, day after day, especially when you're feeling overwhelmed or totally unfocused? You've probably heard this one before, but it is the absolute #1 key to productivity. How do you eat a cow? One bite at a time. And a book is a cow. It is huge, it's intimidating, and trying to tackle it all at once is just going to lead to paralysis. The secret is to break it down. This is the power of micro goals in action. So instead of a huge, vague task like write chapter 5, you make it small and super specific. Write 200 words. And here's the magic trick. Every single time you check off one of these tiny goals, your brain gives you a little hit of dopamine. It's a reward. And that reward builds momentum and makes you want to keep going. One of the best tools for this whole micro goal thing is the Pomodoro technique. It's simple. You set a timer for 25 minutes, and for those 25 minutes, you just write. No editing, no checking your phone, just writing. Then, when the timer goes off, you take a short break. Your brain loves this because it knows relief is just around the corner. It turns writing from this grueling marathon into a series of short, focused sprints. Now let's stack all these ideas into a powerful daily ritual, which is especially great if you struggle with focus. First, you prime your brain with a cue, like making coffee. Then you set a tiny goal. You do your writing sprint. And then you take a real break. That means getting up and moving, not scrolling on your phone. Reward yourself after. And the final piece, which is so important, is a closure ritual. Write down exactly where you're going to start tomorrow. That little step removes all the friction for the next day. And suddenly the book just starts writing itself in these small, consistent bursts. So you've got your mindset down, you're writing consistently, that's fantastic. But now, how do you get noticed? How do you catch the eye of the agents and editors, the gatekeepers, who can turn your manuscript into an actual book? Let's talk about the pitch. Let's just take a look at the harsh reality of what's called the slush pile, which is basically an agent's overflowing email inbox. A staggering 85% of what they get is either too generic or, well, just too out there. Only about 5%, that tiny little slice, makes an agent stop and say, okay, I have to read this.
Your entire job is to get your book into that tiny 5%.
One of the most effective ways to break through is with what's called a high-concept idea. A high-concept story is built around a unique what-if scenario that's really easy to grasp and is immediately interesting. Think like cowboys in space or a reality TV show where people fight to the death. It's an instant attention grabber.
A really simple way to start thinking in high-concept terms is the classic X meets Y formula. It instantly tells someone your story's tone, its genre, and its core conflict just by mashing up two things they already know. So ask yourself, what two different worlds can your story bridge together?
We've covered a lot. Craft, mindset, productivity, the business side, but there's one final piece of the puzzle, and it goes way beyond technique. It's arguably the most important element for having a long and successful writing career.
This right here, this is the real secret. Getting the grammar right, learning how to plot a story, you can learn all that. That's the easy part. The real deep work of a writer isn't just about becoming someone who can write well. It's about becoming someone who has something interesting to say. Your stories are a byproduct of your mind. They come from you, so the most important work you can possibly do is to cultivate that mind. Read things you disagree with. Go talk to people who have lived totally different lives than you. Go out and actually experience the world. This is where the compelling ideas come from. The essays, the novels, they're just the exhaust from that engine.
Ultimately, all these principles of storytelling, they apply to our own lives too. We all face conflict. We all hit bleak moments. And we all get to choose what lessons we learn and what decisions we make. So as you go forward on this writing journey, just remember, you are the protagonist of your own story. What will your resolution look like?